In this video, we will try to understand static versus non-static with practical implementation. Static keyword used in Java to share resource that could be variable or method of a class. The static keyword belongs to class rather than instance of a class. Static keyword used for constant variable or a method that is same for every instance of the class. Static keyword applicable on blocks, variables, methods, and classes. In this video, we will try to cover below questions. Static versus non-static, why we need static, can static method access non-static attributes, and vice versa. So now let's go and try to understand it by practical implementation. To understand the difference between static versus non-static, let's imagine this use case that we have a class named car, and this car class is responsible to create an object of a car. Okay, and the government gave order that this class will create only 2 objects daily. So now let's implement this use case, and for that I will create a car class and I will say class name car, and in this car class I will have two non-static attributes called private string name and private string type. So as these attributes are non-static, so it belongs to the instance of the class, and to create the instance of the class we need a constructor. So I will generate a constructor. So we have a constructor here. Now I will go in our main class, and here I will create the instance of this car class, and I will say BMW new car, and this will be BMW M5, and this type will be sedan. And here I will create another instance called Tesla, and here it will be car Tesla and its type will be SUV. So we have two instances here, and to access the name and type attribute of that instance, these attributes are non-static, so it belongs to the instance of the class, and we can call them with the help of the instance of the class. So I will say BMW dot, and to access them, so as you can see I don't have any name attribute here as they are private. So I have to make a method here. So I will create getter methods, so I will generate getters for both of them, and also to print the string or to print the object in a string, so I will have a toString method. And now if I go here, so if I call a get name, so I can call the name attribute of this instance. So and if I want to print it, so I will say system.out.println, and here I will say bmw.get name. Okay, and here for the Tesla I will say system out.println and tesla.get name. And if I execute this code, so as you can see we have BMW M5 and Tesla. And now if I go here, and here let's create a static attribute. So I will say private static, sorry, it will be int, and it will be car count, and the car count is 0, and I will make it as a public. So because this is static attribute and it belongs to the class, not to the instance of the class, so it will be accessed with the name of the class. Okay, so for example if I go here and if I call, I will just copy paste this one here and here, and if I say car dot, let me remove this, and I will say car count. So as you can see this is static attribute, so we can reference it directly with the name of the class, not with the instance of the class. Okay, so if I execute it, so it will print the 0. And now if I go here, and so I will say I will just car count plus plus in the constructor. So whenever a new object is created, the car count will be incremented. Now let's go here, and so as you can see, the static attributes, they are basically common for all the instances of the class. So this is the difference between static versus non-static. That is, the static attributes can be referenced directly by the name of the class, and the non-static attributes can be referenced by the instance of the class. So now let's go for the next question, that why we need static. Static attributes are required when we are dealing with the common values that are common or constant for all the instances of the class. So as you can see, this car count, it is basically common for all the instances of the class. So when you are dealing with some constant values that are common for all the instances of the class, so you have to make static attributes. Now let's go back on our use case. So for that, I will create another static attribute. I will say static int daily limit equal to 2. And to make it constant, I will make it as a final. And here I will add a clause. I will say if car count less than daily limit, then assign the values to our attributes and increment the car count. Else I will say system.out.println, I will say daily limit reached. Okay, so basically the constructor which is responsible to create an instance of the class, here we have put the check that if the two instance has been created and the car count becomes 2, so it will reach to the daily limit, that is we have 2, so it will not create another object of this class. Basically it will create the object, but it will not assign these values. Okay, so just it is just a use case we are going to implement. And now let's go here, and I will create another object. I will say this will be Toyota, and here I will change the name of the Toyota. Okay, and this will be Toyota.toString, and here I will print the car count. So now we have 3 objects we are initializing: BMW, Tesla, and Toyota. And if I execute this code, so as you can see, we have object car BMW M5, then object 2 is Tesla, and then we have reached daily limit. So we have created 2 objects, and then it create the third object but with the null values. Okay, so the values didn't assign, and then still the limit is 2. Okay, so sorry, the car count is 2. Okay, so did it increment the another count here. So basically that is how we can use static keywords on those attributes that are constant or common for the all the instance of the class. Now let's go here and create a static method. Here I will say public, and this will be static method, and it will return integer, and it will return car count. Okay, and here I will return the car count. So we have a static method here, and if I go here and if I want to access this static method, so I can access this static method directly with the name of the class. Okay, so as you can see, we are calling this method car.getCarCount directly with the name of the class. And here, as we have another method such as getName, which is non-static, so we cannot access this method with the name of the class. Okay, so as you can see, car.getName, so to get the name, because this is non-static method and it belongs to the instance of the class, so we can call this method with the instance of the class. And also the non-static methods cannot be referenced with the name of the class. So for example, I say car.getName, so it gives me the error that non-static methods getName cannot be referenced from a static context. Okay, so we cannot reference it directly with the name of the class. This is about static methods and non-static methods. And for example, if I want to access the non-static attribute inside the static method, such as this type attribute, which is non-static. Okay, so for example, if I say type, and here I will change I will assign some value here like SUV, so it gives me the error that non-static field type cannot be referenced from a static context. So if we want to access that inside the static method, we have to make it as a static. So we cannot access non-static members inside a static method. So this is about static versus non-static. And here let me clean this code. I will say get car count, and now if I execute this one, so as you can see, our result is same. Okay, so this is about static versus non-static, and if you have any confusion, you can leave your comment in the comment section. Kindly subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon. See you in the next video.